Today, we're taking a 307-kilometer ride from Ottawa to Montreal City on a 2018 Goldwing, along a route that's designed to show off some of the most scenic roads this city has to offer, and at the same time, take us on a different kind of journey, one through classic rock history. Now, to truly appreciate this musical pilgrimage, we thought we'd start here at the iconic Turning Point Record Store on Cooper Street in Ottawa.
I was in high school back in '68, and we heard that John Lennon was coming to Ottawa and he was going to meet with Trudeau. At first it was going to be a press conference at Ottawa University. I knew about this about 2 days in advance. I had a friend who was a reporter with the Citizen, so we borrowed his Citizen card, ID card, and I made a copy of it with my name on it. So I went to the event, and I look back at the pictures now, and I must have looked like a child with a whole bunch of adults. I don't know how they let me in. But I got in, I snuck around behind him, and amazingly they took photos for the newspapers, and I ended up getting caught in those photos. And then after the event was over, I was so excited I sort of backed off in a hall behind to catch my breath. And John and Yoko turned around and walked down the hall towards me by themselves. And so I got to shake his hand and speak with him for about a minute before the crowd sort of all caught up with us. I'd just like to welcome any people who are traveling to Ottawa or passing through town to come by the store. We have a wonderful spot for motorcycles to park outside, so come on down and take a look at what we've got here.
So, if you're a collector of movies or music, or you just dig the nostalgia, check out the Turning Point. 2 floors with literally thousands of records, movies, CDs, and it's been a staple in this area for 35 years. The first section of this ride will take us out of Ottawa, through Gatineau, east onto Highway 148, and onto some extremely motorcycle-friendly highways, the 317 and the 323 North. Here, we'll journey up towards Mount Tremblant, and eventually through to our next destination, which is hidden away here in the Laurentian Mountains in Morin Heights. But don't rush getting there, because this ride is a lot of fun. These winding mountain roads are local favorites amongst riders. Specifically, this twisty final stretch across Highway 364 that'll lead you into Morin Heights and to our first destination. Off a little dirt road near Morin Heights lays one of Montreal's greatest hidden treasures, and on this particular ride, it's especially meaningful. With special permission granted from the owners, we've stopped to check out this historic location. Now, you may be wondering why we've stopped at a half-burnt-down building in the middle of the Laurentian Mountains. Well, in its prime, this was one of the most famous recording studios in the world, known to everybody as Le Studio. Because of its totally unique sound and state-of-the-art construction, Le Studio was responsible for an incredible list of classic albums by bands including David Bowie, Cat Stevens, Sting, April Wine, The Bee Gees, The Police, Celine Dion, Keith Richards, The Bare Naked Ladies, Bryan Adams, Sarah McLachlan, and of course one of Canada's most iconic bands, Rush. Now, it's been almost completely forgotten, but not by music fans. Le Studio was considered Rush's Abbey Road. In fact, the band recorded no less than 7 albums here and even a couple music videos. Do you remember that drum track from Tom Sawyer? That was recorded right here where I'm standing. Music fans from all over the world still visit Le Studio to pay respect to the great bands that recorded here. In fact, many of them even consider it sacred ground. Although when they see it in its current state, many of them have said it evokes a feeling like seeing the Titanic at the bottom of the ocean. Le Studio was originally built by Andre Perry, a renowned musician, recording engineer, and producer, considered by many as a pillar of the Canadian music industry. After years of neglect and a tragic fire in 2017, unfortunately this is all that remains of the once world-renowned Le Studio. At the time of filming, this property was for sale. Here's to hoping someone will eventually restore it to its former glory. Our next stop is all the way back into Montreal City, and the best route to take there is Highway 15 South. I know what you're thinking, a cemetery? It's a bit of a strange detour, but on our journey through Canadian music history, we just couldn't overlook the significance of this stop. So behind me is the final resting place of the composer who Oh, and if you're thinking of stopping here too, you might want to leave your helmet on. So behind me is the final resting place of a composer who wrote a song that is arguably one of the most popular in Canada. You hear it in school, at the beginning of professional sports. Félix Lavallee composed the music to O Canada. So crazy. A breezy 20-minute drive straight into the downtown core is all it'll take to reach our final destination, the Fairmont Queen Elizabeth Hotel. Our ride ends here in downtown Montreal, but our musical pilgrimage wouldn't be complete without a stay at the famous Fairmont Queen Elizabeth Hotel, where in 1969, almost 50 years ago, John Lennon and Yoko Ono staged their Bed In for Peace. Let's check it out. Here it is, room 1742, aptly named the John Lennon and Yoko Suite, which recently underwent a massive renovation which focused on preserving the memory of John and Yoko's Bed In for Peace protest. The suite itself is bright and cheery, with 2 king bedrooms, 2 spacious bathrooms, a kitchenette, dining area, and a lounge. In the lounge, there's a wall of filing cabinets which open up to reveal various audio and visual displays devoted to preserving different aspects of the Bed In story. And there are interactive phone and TV installations which play sound bites and interviews captured during the protest. And finally, the master bedroom. This is where it all happened, the main hub of the peace protest and the exact same room where John recorded Give Peace a Chance. So the bed is under the window, exactly where it was when John and Yoko staged their protest. The words hairpiece and bedpiece have also been immortalized on these windows in exactly the spot that John and Yoko hung their protest posters. So here's something really neat. You can lie in this bed and there's a virtual reality installation here. When you put this on, it lets you experience some of the protest from John and Yoko's point of view. Remember earlier when we talked about the man who built the studio, Andre Perry? Well, this room is significant for him too, as he was the technician that John Lennon hired to record and master the single for Give Peace a Chance. For Beatles fans, this suite feels less like a hotel room and more like a museum or a shrine, which is why it felt appropriate to leave this here, right back where it was created.